What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review for Queen Sugar. What season? See, I don't got the information. Season 6, episode 6. All right. So we start off. We see Charlie flirting with her boo thing. Her and Davis flirting, and he's in LA coaching for sounds like a WNBA team, and of course she's in St. Joe, and she's talking to him about her political future and is she ready for to take that leap. They want her to run for state congresswoman, and are they ready for that? And then they get to flirting, and it's real cute or whatever. So then we see Ava, Charlie, and Nova having a spa day over to Charlie's house. They doing their toes and stuff, and Charlie is doing what all of us as women have done at some point in our life. We are sprung over some man, and every other word that comes out of our mouth is something about that man. Davis says this, and Davis thinks that. And I was talking to Davis, and Davis did. Listen, all of us have done it. We have been there. And Vi and Nova are, teasing her about being sprung. And, she is feeling it. She said, listen, it is what it is. She said things are different this time because, the first time around, I just spent so much time trying to convince everybody that he was a good guy. She said, and now I just know who he is and he knows who I am. And we just don't care anymore. We're at a place where we're good. Then she gets this phone call and she ends up running out and leaves Vi and Nova in her damn house. Now, I thought it was Davis because after the way they was flirting, I said Davis done hit her with the, hey, I'm at the hotel by the airport. Come see about a brother. You know what I'm saying? But come to find out, it was the party representative wanting to talk to her. He told her, listen, we were real impressed with that Gayle King interview. Well, he didn't say impressed. He said, we saw that Gayle King interview. That was very bold. And she was like, well, I wanted to control my own narrative. I wanted to make sure that I was in control. And he was like, that was pretty bold of you. And he says, well, the party doesn't want you to run for state congresswoman anymore. And baby Charlie goes off on him and talks about, well, y'all say y'all want assertive black women and y'all want this and y'all want that, but y'all really da-da-da-da-da. And he's listening to her like, but and when she finally gets done going off on him, he says, okay, so we don't want you to run for state congresswoman anymore because we want you to run for U.S. Congress. And of course then she has to have that whole, oh, like one of those moments, right? We have Ralph Angel and Darla are down to the Airbnb in New Orleans having a moment sitting poolside and taking it all in. And of course, they having one of their little, lovey-dovey moments and, sexy type moments. And listen, all I got to say is this, Ralph Angel, I get it. You want to spoil your wife and all of that. But you risk your freedom to be able to take care of your bills and pay up your bills. It seems to me like I don't think you made that much money on that one run that you was going to be able to pay all them payday loans up, take care of the doula, make sure y'all got the crib and everything taken care of, and put a little bit of money in the bank and take this vacation. That's, again, you putting the cart before the horse, Ralph Angel. You done spent up this money, and I get it. You want to treat your woman nice, but your woman know y'all broke. Like, she know y'all don't have no money. But neither here nor there. They having their moment. Everything is cool with them until we see Hollywood down at the barbershop with the little boy. And I can't think of his name now. The little boy. And he's getting a haircut and everything. And the barber lets Hollywood know that the police came there. The sheriff came through looking for Ralph Angel, asking about Ralph Angel because his boy done got arrested. The dude he pulled the lick with, he done got arrested. And they looking for Ralph Angel because his alibi was Ralph Angel. Now, he ain't snitch on Ralph Angel yet. He just said he was with Ralph Angel down to the spot, down to Hollywood's joint. So Hollywood ends up calling Ralph Angel like, listen, your boy done got picked up, and he done lied on you and lied on me because he done said that he was with you down at my establishment. He said, so listen, I'm telling you what, the police come sniffing around, I ain't lying for him. So I need to know if whatever you got going on with this boy, if this dude, is it going to blow back on me or you? Because why would he put your name in it? Why would he even say he was with you? So Ralph Angel was like, thank you, Hollywood. I appreciate you letting me know. Hollywood was like, all right then. Now, while all of this is going on, Nova is chilling at her house. Nova then uploaded her latest, her latest little article to the True Papers, and she says she's taking the rest of the weekend off, baby. And she lays down to take herself a nice little nap, and she wakes up with a gun in her face. The police done busted her door down. They say they got a warrant looking for illegal drugs, and they are tearing her house up, okay? And when I say they are tearing her house up, now, of course, Nova is startled as any of the rest of us would be startled if we wake up and there's guns in our face and we like, what the hell, right? They end up taking Nova outside, and he making, nasty comments about her being a stupid liberal and talking about how long you been living here. She was like 13 months. Well, how can you afford a house like this? She was like, because my book was on the New York bestsellers list, because I run a website that gets 12 million hits a month, because I have speaking engagements. Like, I had to justify my bank account to you? The fuck? So, of course, he like, sound like some trash to me. So, of course, at this point, Nova knows that this is just some tactic that they're using because, her boy told her that they was coming and they not happy, and they know that she writing this paper and she's doing this investigation. But here's my problem with this. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and knock Nova out. Because here's my issue. I had a problem with the way all of this was written in the beginning. It wasn't until the very end of this situation that I was like, now that's the Nova that I know. Because then her neighbor comes running up, and when and she's like, it's okay. And he was like, he goes to reach for his phone because he wants to film the police. And of course, they draw their guns on him. They knock him to the ground. They knock Nova to the ground. And Nova looked like she is getting ready to have a nervous breakdown. She's about to cry. And he tells her, don't you do it. Don't you give them that power. Don't you do it. Of course, after all of this, they do find her stash of weed, but she was like, I have a medicinal card, right? Like, he was like, well, marijuana is illegal in the state of Louisiana. She was like, but I got a card. He arrests her anyway and takes her down to the station. Her neighbor is like, I got you, Nova. I got you. Don't worry about it. And again, Nova, it looks like, and again, I get it, y'all. Before y'all come for me in them comments, I understand that it's got to be unsettling. But here's my problem with all of this. They get Nova down to the station. They got her there for like 4 hours. She's saying a prayer, telling my Lord, please cover me. And when the police officer comes into the room, she finally gives it to him, right? She tells him, listen, I'm sick of this. Like, y'all keep coming in here every 30 minutes asking me if I got anything to say. No, I don't have nothing to say. Okay? This is just police tactic 101. Like, all y'all doing is harassing me. What you took out of my house, that little half an hour or whatever they took, she said it is a misdemeanor. Not only is it a misdemeanor that normally would just give me a ticket and you would send me on my merry little way, I have a medicinal card. And you know I have a medicinal card because I keep my card in the exact same place where I keep my weed. So if you found the weed, you found the card. So at this point, you are either going to charge me with the crime or you're going to let me go. So of course they end up letting her go. And the neighbor is outside waiting for her. He said he had been waiting for her. He was like, I told you I had your back. But here is my problem with that whole situation. The Nova they gave us in the last 5 minutes is the Nova that I thought they was going to give us on that front lawn. I get it. When she first woke up and she had that gun in her head, maybe not so much. But once she got outside and she saw that all of this was some bullshit, at that point, that's when you're supposed to give him that damn speech before he take you down to the police station. When you saw all them cameras, because all her neighbors was outside and they was filming, that's when you give him the speech. Because once they saw them cameras and say that they saw them people filming, they were like, get her out of here. Oh, you get me out of here? Okay. Nova, you had to know they was coming. You were supposed to already have your lawyer on speed dial. You were supposed to be ready for this. You knew or should have known they was coming for you. Everybody has been warning you that they was coming for you. So I don't understand why they took you took you off guard like that and had you so off your game. I ain't like it because I felt like that wasn't what the Nova was that we should have got. That's my opinion. Moving on. So Mr. Prosper and his daughter and Miss Ann Nesby, aka his nurse, Prosper's working out. He's doing his physical therapy, and they egging him on, and they have a good little moment. And his daughter was like, listen, Billy said, listen, Daddy, I tell you what. How about I stop by? I'm about to go run some errands. How about on my way home, I stop by and I pick up some, some dinner, and we could sit down and have dinner like we used to have some daddy-daughter time. And he said, you know what? I think that's nice. That's a good idea. I think we should do that. I appreciate that, right? And they're having a really light moment, and you can see how their relationship to mending is getting better. Like you can see, how it's moving forward. So Hollywood ends up taking the little boy home to his mama. He done got him a fresh haircut, and she's outside waiting for, she's happy to see him and see his, I'm talking about her son. And, she hugs him and everything and sends him upstairs, told him, going upstairs and I'll cut you some pie from Miss Vi when, when I get up there. And so she tells Hollywood, thank you so much, Hollywood. Ever since when we first left, he was asking for his daddy every day. But since you've been spending time with him, he don't even think about his daddy. And, you are a good man and you good to my son. And then she going to say, I wish I had me a good man like you. And, Hollywood was like, well, there's some men out there for you, And she tries to hug. Well, no, he did. He was like, all right, well, he could tell that she was going down the road. Talking about something. I sure wish I had me a good man like you. His mama deserve a good man too. Hollywood was like, all right then, well, and he tries to like give her a little hug, and she tries to lean in and kiss him. And he said, oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. He said, I can't believe you gonna do this. He said, after the way that Vi has treated you, after all that woman has done for you, this is what you gonna do. This is how you gonna treat. This is how you gonna repay her. And I was like, oh my goodness. I said, there she go. Now, Hollywood did the right thing, because as soon as he got home, they were on their way to go see Mr. Prosper. We'll get back to that in a second, because I knew the minute they said they was going over to Mr. Prosper's house, I knew that was going to be a problem. But we'll get back to that. But he said, Vi got something to tell you. See, you did the right thing, Hollywood, because the last thing you needed to do is to not tell Vi because you didn't want to upset her or you ain't want to start no shit. And then you let her tell her story to Vi and make it seem like something happened that didn't happen. Because Vi was already feeling some kind of way when you told her, and you said, well, she tried to kiss me and I got her together. And Vi was like, well, how did she get close enough for you to kiss her? He was like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold up, player. She leaned into a place where she wasn't invited, nor was she wanted. Don't put this on me. You know good and damn well that I don't want nobody but you. Let's be clear. I'm just letting you know what happened. Don't try to turn this around on me. Don't do it. Don't do it. And she got herself together, but she was about to go left. And see, that's why you got to let them know up front, so that they don't start trying to spin their own narrative and tell their version of the story. Because then now Hollywood try to come back and say, well, that ain't what happened. Well, now Hollywood look like the liar because he ain't say it from the beginning. Feel what I'm saying? So anyway, got that. Got that going. Cool, cool, cool. Down to the Xavier. Oh Lord, I don't know why I can't never remember his name. Oh my gosh, Charlie's son, child, Lord, y'all know these names. Jesus, I've been watching the show for 6 years. Anyway, he down there hanging out with his friend. They getting closer. But they getting closer like friends. I'm not putting nothing out there nefarious. They getting closer like friends. They, they're coming out of the movie theater and they said, we're going to never take for granted being able to go to a movie. It seemed like something that's so simple, but it's something that we hadn't been able to do, for the last year or so. And they were, talking about, just how much they having a good time. And his friend says, yeah, I'm about to go. I got a date. I'm about to, I got some people I'm about to go see. And, Micah. See, I knew it was going to come to me. And Micah was like, oh, really? Well, I need to meet them. And I noticed how they're not using pronouns. They're saying, well, they're using pronouns, but they're not using he and she. They're saying them. Well, have I met them? Who are they? They're not saying who is she and who is he. You know what I'm saying? he was like, well, you know, it's somebody I'm checking out. He said, but I'm kind of interested in somebody right now. Michael was like, oh, for real? Oh, you keeping secrets now? And it was real light or whatever. So later on that night, Micah and some of his sweet mates, they playing spades. Listen, can't go to a HBCU and not learn how to play spades. Now, I know people have done it, but that means that somebody has failed you. That's all I'm going to say. I said it, and that's what I meant. You can leave it in the comments. But if you went to a HBCU and you graduated without knowing how to play spades, somebody has failed you. You missed a crucial part of the HBCU experience. That's all I'm saying. Learning how to play spades, homecoming. If you didn't do those two things, I don't know why you were there. I don't know why you were there. Moving on. But they playing spades, and so Michael's friend comes in, and Michael was like, you know, how'd everything go? And he was like, it was cool, it was cool. So he ends up sitting down to play spades, and they doing what they normally do. They talking trash. But his boy, again, same fraternity, because he got on the fraternity jacket, he starts making little comments about Michael's friend being soft, about Michael's friend maybe liking boys, and then even trying to throw Michael in and talking about some, oh, look at the partners playing the same cards. And Michael was like, bruh, like, you being real childish right now. Like, you being real stupid, bruh. He was like, that's how you play the game. That's what we doing. And Micah's friend sort of picked up on it and saw that Micah wasn't shying away from, you know, the guy making the gay jokes and stuff. And so he started throwing it at him too and talking about some, yeah, but women run from you. Like, you can say what you want to say, but the women run from you. You know, that kind of thing. So, Micah handled it, you know, like I said, he handled it. Now, Aunt Vi, on the other hand, told Hollywood they're going to go see Mr. Prosper. I forgot to say this part. But they're going to take a pit stop down to the motel first. And when they get down to the motel, baby, they are gone. The girl and the baby are gone. They done packed up their stuff and they done left. And, you know, now Aunt Vi's worried about her. Now Aunt Vi's like, well, listen, she don't have no money. She can't use her credit cards because her husband going to find out where she is. Why would she do that? Why would she, you know, put herself in this situation? Like, she's like, why can't people just act right? Why can't people just act right? So, Charlie is pondering the options. Charlie is thinking about, you know, what she would have to do in order to move, in order to run for, you know, the U.S. Congress. And Davis calls her, and they end up having a conversation about, she doesn't tell him specifically that she got offered the opportunity to run for the U.S. Senate, because they still trying to break down the offer to run for state Senate, right? And they're talking about, you know, him, you know, he said, listen, this is a great job and a great opportunity, but it doesn't mean anything if it keeps me away from you. Like, I want this to work, and we got to figure it out. And Charlie was like, yeah, we do have to figure it out. And she said, that doesn't necessarily mean me staying here. You know, and so she ends up talking to Micah. She goes to visit Micah, and she tells Micah about the opportunity. And she says, listen, that would mean putting our family back in the spotlight. That would mean that microscope that you grew up with as a father who's in the NBA. Like, I'm letting you know that if I decide to do this, what's coming. And Micah was like, listen, I can handle it. I'm cool with it. You know, basically, you got my blessing. And she was like, oh my gosh, I really appreciate it. And then Micah tells her about his friend. He said, listen, we're getting real close. You know, he's becoming one of my best friends. He said, but you know, some of the guys are kind of hassling him. He said he might be gay, and I don't care. Like, I don't really care that he's gay. Like, it doesn't matter to me. And some of the guys are kind of hassling him and, you know, kind of throwing me in the mix. He said, but listen, it doesn't matter if he's gay or even if they said queer. If he's queer or even if I'm queer. And I was like, Michael, you just threw that in there. I'm just going to throw that in there. It doesn't matter if he's queer. You're just going to throw that in there. Doesn't matter if I'm queer. Gonna throw that in there. And again, it doesn't really matter, but I just thought that was interesting how he just kind of threw that in there. Like, maybe it could be me. Like, oh, really? So Ralph Angel finally has to break down and tell Darla what's going on. And of course, Darla is pissed. Darla was like, sir, how many times did I ask you what was going on? How many times did I ask you about the money and how bad things were? And you lied to me. And not only did you lie to me, you decided to find an alternate route instead of us working through it together. And I told you I had some money. But you would rather go on out here and commit crimes and potentially go to jail. Now, I'm adding this sauce, okay? And potentially go to jail and be away from our family rather than take this damn money that I told you I had, okay? You know, and so Darla is pissed, which of course she should be. Anyway, so then we see Prosper and Billy having dinner, and they are having a great time. Like, they are really having a good time. They're laughing. They're enjoying the food. Mr. Prosper said, let me go and get some wine. Let's go ahead and really make this a nice Italian, because it was Italian. And she said, wine? For real, Daddy? That's what you doing? And while they're doing this, who come knocking at the door but ain't Vi and Hollywood? Now, Hollywood reads the room. Hollywood was like, oh, my bad. We are interrupting. We'll go. Here go Aunt Vi. I ain't going nowhere. Billy was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm good. Aunt Vi was like, what's wrong, Billy? You don't want none of my pie? Because, of course, she bought Prosper a pie. She said, Aunt Vi, I didn't mean no disrespect. I just don't want none. She said, well, and so that's when, and Hollywood again was like, you know what, if I let them, you know, they were eating dinner. We're going to go. I'm not leaving. I'm family. Billy was like, I'm family too. So she said, I'm not going to keep, Aunt Vi told me something, I'm not going to keep dealing with your disrespect. Billy was like, listen, let me explain something to you. She said, I'm really sick of this. I'm sick of it. And she basically goes off and she breaks it down for them and says, listen, I know that you got a problem with me because you feel like I had something to do with your husband cheating on you. Okay, cool. But let's be clear. I was a child. He was a grown-ass man, okay? And y'all running around here believing everything that this scorned man said. Yes, I was a child. He had me in a compromising position. I fought him off. And then he wanted to spread rumors around town because he was mad because I wouldn't let him have none. But instead of y'all coming and talking to me because I was the child, y'all assumed the worst of me, or you assumed the worst of me. And at no point in time did it ever occur to you to come and talk to me and find out what it was, what the truth was. No, you just assume the worst and you let me, a child, deal with all of the what's the word I'm looking for? The condemnation of the world, right? And she ends up running off. And of course, now Aunt Vi standing there looking stupid. Mr. Prosper standing there looking stupid because, of course, they've been kind of getting back together, but they ain't talked about that part yet. And now both of them looking stupid because Billy done let them know, listen, not only did I not sleep with your husband, but your husband tried to damn rape me. And nobody gave a damn about me. What about the children? Okay. Next thing you know, she runs off. Aunt Vi tried to go after her. Hollywood was like, this ain't the time. Let that one go. Charlie goes and finds Billy at the bar. Billy getting drunk. Now, Billy said something that hurt my heart, okay? In this whole scene where Billy is opening herself up to Charlie, and she's sharing with Charlie that, you know, the hurt that she felt. And they bonding. But the one thing she said that hurt me to my heart, y'all, she said she don't like whiskey. And that whiskey just tastes, when she said whiskey tastes like sorrow, I said, damn. Now, y'all know how much I love my whiskey. That hurt. Billy, that hurt. But Charlie gave her some good words, though. Charlie said, listen, the problem when you leave town and you don't, she said, the problem when you leave town and you, what she say, you get over something is the people don't get to see the struggle. They don't get to see the triumph. They don't get to see the process. They just see that you're back and that you're good. And so she was like, well, what you trying to say? And Charlie was like, She said, that's my story too. She said, we live in shame and we live in the shame of stuff that we don't even give ourselves the opportunity to move forward. And, you know, she was like, and Billy told her, Billy said, listen, she said, I'm the struggle of it. You know, I've really worked hard. She said, you've done a good job. You done moved to Chicago. You raising 2 kids. You're doing a good job. But people don't see that because you didn't let anybody see that. You know, she said, and I'm not saying that you're right or wrong. She said, well, you know, Aunt Vi can't just, you know, I understand that Aunt Vi is dealing with her hurt of her husband cheating on her. And Charlie told her, that's Aunt Vi's struggle. That is not yours. You can't take on Aunt Vi's situation. That's her problem. And I thought that was deep. Like, I thought Charlie gave her some good words. I thought Charlie gave her, you know, some good words. But that was pretty much the episode. Like, hopefully next week, you know, Aunt Vi and Billy get a chance to talk. But, child, it looked like some shit going down next week. But y'all know it's Queen Sugar. It's always something going down, child. Anyway, that's pretty much the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.